ahead and get started with those of you that are here. Oop, I see Toole County. I'm going to add them real quick. So this afternoon, we're going to be talking about service learning, and Mariah McPhee from Gallatin County, our Mariah, what's your position? Leaders Council.
I'm the council representative.
Yes, she is the representative on the Montana 4-H Leaders Council, and she's going to be leading us through our online workshop today. And I think got everybody on, so I'm going to turn it over to Mariah, and she can get started. Thanks, Mariah.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah, hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. My topic today is service learning. Most 4-H groups participate in the service learning or community service projects. But what is the difference between the two? Usually, service learning and community service are used interchangeably, but there is a difference. Service learning involves planning, execution, and then reflection after the project is completed. Community service generally only involves planning the activity and then doing the activity, and then we all go home happy. So that reflection or seeing what you learned is what adds the educational element to the project and makes it service learning, not just community service. However, both kinds of service are good because it is good to get out and help others. April happens to be the Montana 4-H month of service, which makes it a great month to get out and serve your community. Community service can mean many things, but it is first and foremost, as the name suggests, serving your community. There are many different ways to serve your community: picking up litter, helping at a rest home, doing a food drive, and many, many others. What are some things that you guys do in your counties, either as individuals or in groups, to serve your communities? And if you could put those in the chat, that'd be wonderful.
I see road cleanup, trash cleanup, what other service projects do you guys do? Oh, I saw, where did I see that? Valentine's for the elderly, food drive, traveling farm, tie blankets, mini libraries. That's a cool one. Farm safety day. So cool. Backpacks for kids, Valentine's for the nursing home.
Yeah, those are some really awesome service projects.
Shoe drive. That's a cool one.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Ooh, knitting hats and snuffle mats. What's a snuffle mat? It must be for an animal because it's for the animal shelter.
A snuffle mat is like it's something you put treats in so the dogs have to kind of dig around. It gives them something to do while they're at the shelter.
Oh, well, that's cool. Toiletries for the elderly, toiletries for the rescue mission, clean up around the horse barns. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks you guys for putting those different service projects in the chat. So one thing that I noticed is all of those community service projects address a need that is in your community. And that is the best way to serve your community, is to address those needs that are there. But before you can address these needs, you need to identify them, whether it be homelessness, food insecurity, addictions, or something else. Each community has different needs, and generally it has more than one. There are many resources that can help you to identify these needs. County commissioners, your mayor, your extension office may even have some opportunities. These are just a few of the many resources that are available. So now we're going to go into breakout rooms. Brett, are you ready with those? Okay. And we're going to discuss some of those needs that you guys see in your communities.
We're just waiting for the other breakout room to come back, I think. Oh, wait, I think everybody's back.
Okay, awesome. So now that we've thought about different needs in our communities and maybe some projects we're already doing to address those needs, but we need to look at how to address the needs. And one of those ways is through a service learning project. So to plan, and the first step of doing a project is you have to plan out what you're going to do. So start out with your goal. Why are you doing this project? Is it because it's a cause that's particularly close to you? Or is it because it's a group decided to do it? You know, figure out what your goal or your purpose for your project is. And then you plan what you're going to do. So, for example, with a food drive, are you going to do it just with your club and have everybody in your club bring X number of cans of food to your club meeting and then you take it to the food bank? Or are you going to make it more of a countywide thing? You know, how are you going to, how are you going to accomplish your thing, and what are you going to do? And then you need to figure out your timeline. When are things going to be due? What are those tasks? Who is doing them? So that everyone has a role in doing the project. And then you need to look at what you need to accomplish it, your resources. So how much time is it going to take? Is it going to take you, 30 minutes to collect the food, or is it only going to take you 5? Are you going to need any money to accomplish your goal? What are the things? So following our food drive analogy, for items, it could be the food that people are going to bring in. The people would be the people in your club, and places could be where your drive is going to take place, or things like that. And then in terms of responsibilities, who's going to do what? So is somebody going to do a flyer to put in your county newsletter? Is somebody else going to send out an email to the volunteers? Is there somebody that's going to do a report at your club meeting? And you want to make sure that in your planning your project, everyone has a role. Everyone can take ownership of part of that project. And then after after you've done all of that, you do your service project. So you do your food drive, and afterwards you would get back together with, say, your committee that planned it and say, okay, what happened? Did it do what you wanted it to? Did you raise the amount of food that you thought you were going to? Or could you maybe have promoted it a little bit better and given people more warning? Things like that. See, did you impact the people that you wanted to impact? And along with that, evaluate what worked, what didn't work. Was your newsletter article catching enough that it got people's interest? Or was it just kind of there and nobody was really that interested in it? And ultimately, what would you change about this project? And would you even do it again? Was it worth your while enough to continue it on into the future? And that evaluation part is what makes your project a service learning project, not a community service project. So after you've planned your project, think about under resources, are there other people that you could involve? Are there other people already working on a particular issue in your area? Is maybe a school doing, I heard this in my breakout room, I think they partner with a school to do a food drive to get more people involved. Could you take your club food drive and make it a countywide thing like we do in our county? That we do a countywide food drive kind of as a competition to see which club can raise the most food. You know, who can, if you want to do a bigger project, that are there charities that you could partner with? That you have this plan of what you want to do, but you don't have the monetary resources to, or the human power to get it done. Are there other people that you could partner with to still accomplish your goal? So now that we've talked about that, I know it was a little fast, but now that we've talked about how you plan your project, we're going to go back into those breakout rooms we were in earlier, and we're going to plan our own service learning project to address one of the needs that you talked about in your breakout room.
Welcome back, everybody. How'd it go?
I think it was pretty good.
Do we have everybody? I think so.
That's what it looks like. So which group would like to present first? How about my group?
Okay, so our community service will be a farm safety week to present to the first and second graders to avoid, it's going to prevent farm accidents. Because a lot of these kids live on like ranchers and farms. And we're thinking of having it in March, so like on National Ag Week. And the resources will have to find presenters and ask different farms like if we can, or we can present and go for like different week for the week, and we'll invite farm inspectors to speak and have like a grain bin presenter and a cow and horse safety and tractor safety sort of thing. And in January, well, for a timeline, in January we'll set up our speakers and we'll start advertising in December, and in November we'll talk to the farm, like the ranches and farms, to see if they're willing to host first and second graders. This event.
Nice job, guys. So how about the other group?
Yeah, I'll go. We decided that we would do a food drive, and we'd probably do it in the spring or summer. We figured we would need, or we could use a website to keep people updated. We'd find boxes and find groups in the community that would be interested in doing it. I'm also finding sponsors or stores that would be willing to donate. For resources, we thought we could find people to go and collect food, a place to store donations, a way to transport stuff after we collected it, and to make sure that the food bank had space and identify specific things that they might need. And then we found different people in the group to do all the jobs, and then talked about hypothetically what could have worked and what could have gone wrong. and then work through things that could have gone wrong.
What were some of your hypothetical things that happened?
Like if we had a lot of food, but a lot of it ended up being the same thing, we could spread it out between different food banks or see if they could store it for longer.
Yep, that could definitely happen, right?
Very cool. Well, group 2, you guys are the overachievers, because that was the next thing that we were going to do, was actually talk about go back to the breakout rooms, which we're still going to do, and to discuss what you learned from your project. Alrighty, does anybody want to share what they discussed in their evaluation of their projects?
Okay. So for our farm safety day, we discussed some of the problems that might occur, like if it was 10 below and the kids didn't dress warm, we could provide coats and hot chocolate and warm stuff and like hand warmers for them. And if they got bored during like the workshops, we could have a game and snacks to entertain them so they're not as bored. And we were going to switch it to one place so then we wouldn't have a traffic jam as big of a traffic jam as we did this time.
Very nice.
We
Really
had,
impressed with the level of detail you guys are talking about these hypothetical projects. You guys are thinking of outside of the box, lots of great things. So good job. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
that's okay. We had keeping track of stuff just to make sure everything was accounted for. So maybe counting it as we were donating it. If they did go super well, how often we would do them, like how much would be too many times to do it. Maybe keep in touch with the food bank to see when they were running low on stuff again. And then having a backup plan. So if a driver couldn't show up to transport food or something, having someone that we knew could come do it instead.
Very cool. Alrighty, so now all of you have created your own service project that you could do in your communities. And you can take the skills that you gained from putting together these hypothetical projects to plan your own service project in your community during April, which is the month of service. Also, in case you weren't at fall training, this year's ambassador team has challenged everyone and every county to do a project, and there's the webpage right there on the state website for everyone to do a service project in their community and put together, using that plan of action worksheet, which is also on the state website, put together a little poster board on what they did and present it at the ambassador meeting at Congress, which will be in July. And the counties that do will get a shirt and a cup. So with April coming up, which is the month of service, it would be a perfect time to do your project, and you could kill two birds with one stone, as the saying goes. And looks like Brett just put in the chat that Congress will be July 13th through the 16th in Bozeman at MSU. And April 10th will be our last Leadership Academy. So next month is our last one. Carter's in charge of it, and his is called Lead with a Purpose. So be sure to join us. Thank you and have a great day. Brett, is there anything you would like to add?
I'm on mute. No, I think that's great. I just hope everybody marks their calendars for April 10th for a Lash Leadership Academy. And definitely reach out to your county extension office about those plan of action, that plan of action sharing. They have some information, and in the email with the video from today's workshop, I will also be sharing all of the links that we shared in this during the workshop, including that plan of action worksheet, the plan of action. I don't want to call it a contest, because basically if you do the plan of action and submit it and then present what you did, you'll get a t-shirt and a water bottle / coffee mug kind of thing. So I don't want to call it a contest, because it's more of a opportunity to share with a little bit of incentive. But that information's been sent to your county offices, and I've included it with all of the emails that have gone out about the Leadership Academy. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the state officers, myself, or your county extension office. And I see there's a message in the chat, so just let me look. The deadline will be July 15th with Congress registration. So we're going to keep it simple, and it'll just be an upload page where you'll upload your your completed plan of action. And that just means that worksheet. So if you do it by yourself, then you can submit one plan. If you do June 15th, yes, thank you, Fergus County, June 15th with Congress registration. You can do it by yourself. So if you don't have a lot of leadership involvement in your county, that's okay. You can submit a plan, and you can do something and submit a plan. Or if you're working as a group, then you can submit one plan for that whole group, and you'll list everybody on that plan. Does that make sense? This is the first time that we're doing this, so we're trying to think of all the little details, but we're trying to keep it simple just to help. It's really just to help give some recognition and share ideas. We've been sharing some great leadership ideas the past couple of years at the ambassador meeting, and it's really helped people think about new things to do in their county that you may not have thought of before. So it's really about sharing what everybody's doing and giving you all some recognition for completing those great plans. So great questions. Thank you. Super helpful. All right, with that, we can end our workshop, and thank you, Mariah, and we'll see you all on April 10th.